and welcome to Community Report. Every week on this program, we showcase communities across Nigeria that are unique in ideologies or an extraction of people united by a common good and making their impact. On this week's episode, did you know that there is a community in southwest Nigeria that has a large deposit of marble as a natural mineral resource? Well, stay with us over the next 25 minutes to see where and what is the current state of that resource. I'm your host, Olu Phillips. Igbeti, a town in Oyo State, is strategically located and centrally placed, having Ilorin, the Kwara State capital, to her east, Ikoyi to the south, Igboho and Shaki to her west, while the old Oyo National Park lies to the north. Surrounded by 16 imposing hills, each with an interesting story behind its existence, Igbeti is largely rural and agrarian in nature. Like most agrarian parts of Oyo State, the early settlers, dated as far back as pre-18th century, were predominantly hunters and farmers. Historically, the first settlers around modern-day Igbeti were the progeny of Alaafin Shango, Olufiran Ajala, believed to be a descendant of the god and goddesses of the 16 hills surrounding and protecting the town.
This is the Ogun, and that's where they used to sacrifice to Ogun, the god of fire. They used to bring a dog every year to make a sacrifice to appease the Ogun. And mostly, when a hunter died in the community, they used to come here to come and do the final ritual for that hunter. So popularly, this place is known as Idiogu.
The unique location of Igbeti among various rock formations endeared it to several migrants, especially from the old Oyo Ile, who came with others, forming several settlements and communities as they arrived at the expanse-rich valley now known as Igbeti. The advancement of Udman Danfodio's jihadists towards Oyo Ile necessitated an amalgamation of all these various settlements under a very strong bond of oath called Imule to forge a common front against intruders. The amalgamated settlements moved to the top of one of the most imposing hills in the town, popularly known as Iyamapo, where they camped and laid siege for the jihadists. This is Iyamapo Hill. It welcomes every visitor to Igbeti, and on top of the mountain, one can still see relics of the ancient wall of barricades made with small stones to shield the settlers and give them a fighting advantage over any attacker. The Yamapo is standing in her elegance, occupying over 6 kilometers of landmass and as high as 150 feet. It was on this rock formation that the early settlers fought all Yoruba wars and were never conquered. This earned it the name Igbeti, meaning a town which can never be taken or conquered. This later metamorphosed to Igbeti as it is known today. After the wars, the settlers moved back into the valley and encamped around this place known as Idiogu in Oke-Agor area under the leadership of a warrior known as Sinyambola I, who ruled between 1856 to 1905. Apart from these imposing hills, the major strength of Igbeti people is the marble. A huge and rich deposit of marble forms the base of the town, and in almost every community within the town, this wonder mineral is abundantly available.
Marble, we can define it as an industrial mineral. Marble itself has quite a lot of uses. I think there are about 108 different uses you can put marble to. And there are two varieties. The ones we call the calcitic marble and then the dolomitic marble. And they have two different things. For example, the ones that are rich in calcite can be used for cement. And that's what's being used in Obajana. It's a marble. And then the other one, which is dolomitic, can also be used for so many things. I can begin to highlight them. One, maybe even the most common that you see around, is as poultry feeds. It's the source of calcium, yes, in poultry feeds, and it has a lot of huge market in Nigeria. When they are composing the poultry food and all that. Two, you can use marble, as I've said, for manufacture of cement. It's one of especially the ones that have high calcite composition. You can use marble in the paint industries, one of the major ingredients or raw materials for paint manufacture. You can use marble as what we call fillers and extenders in plastic manufacturing. You can even use it in steel making. Yes, it's used as a flux in steel making. So, in fact, our steel industry needs a lot of marble. When Ajaokuta begins to get off, as we hope it will very, very soon because of what the government has done to get it back, they will need a lot of raw materials of marble. What you see in Igbeti is just one of the about 27 different areas where we have marble deposits in Nigeria. And apart from Igbeti, you also have it in another place in Oyo State here. That's Alagutan, not too far from Ogbomoso. The Igbeti marble itself, which had been explored over the years and a lot of studies have been going on, contains no less than over 50 million tons of cement of raw marble, and is still being explored to discover more, because you have over 40-meter thickness variable, and then not less than about 8 or 9 kilometers of the marble stretches. So, but in lensoid forms. So marble has a lot of usage.